History whispers, temples breathe, devotion, streets, journey. Welcome to the Kathmandu Valley, the cultural heart of Nepal and the living soul of this Himalayan nation. It is here, amidst the winding alleyways, bustling squares, and sacred shrines, that the story of Nepal truly begins. This valley is not just a destination, it is a living museum, an ancient canvas painted with vibrant traditions, spirituality, and timeless beauty. And as the sun rises over its terracotta rooftops, you realize that this is not a fleeting stop, but the very gateway to the soul of Nepal. Kathmandu, the capital city, greets you with a chaotic symphony of sounds, rickshaw bells, street vendors calling out their wares, the rhythmic chants from temples, and the hum of daily life blending into one vibrant melody. Durbar Square, the beating heart of old Kathmandu, feels like stepping back in time. Palaces and temples, carved from wood and stone centuries ago, still stand proudly despite the trials of earthquakes and wars. The intricate latticework on windows and the pagoda-style temples are not just architectural marvels, but guardians of history. Here, you encounter the Kumari, the living goddess, who embodies the mystical traditions that make Nepal unlike any other place on Earth. Just a short drive away, the city of Patan, also known as Lalitpur, unfolds like a jewel box of art and culture. Its Durbar Square rivals Kathmandu's with its exquisite temples and palaces. But Patan is also known for its artists. Bronze sculptures, fine metalwork, and spiritual paintings crafted here are treasured across the world. Walking through Patan's narrow lanes, you hear the soft tap of hammers and chisels as artisans continue their age-old craft, passing it down from one generation to the next. It feels as if time moves differently here, slower, yet richer. Bhaktapur, another gem of the valley, adds yet another layer to this story. Known as the City of Devotees, Bhaktapur is less touched by modern chaos and more deeply rooted in its medieval charm. Its Durbar Square, with the towering Nyata Pola temple, stands as a majestic reminder of Nepal's architectural grandeur. Here, pottery wheels spin in quiet courtyards, creating clay vessels just as they have for centuries. Festivals in Bhaktapur are colorful spectacles where myth and history come alive in a dance of drums, masks, and rituals. As you watch locals carry out traditions with pride, you realize that this valley doesn't just preserve history, it lives it every day. The Kathmandu Valley is also a spiritual crossroads. Hinduism and Buddhism intertwine seamlessly here, creating a tapestry of faith and unity. The Swayambhunath Stupa, also called the Monkey Temple, rises above the valley with watchful eyes painted on its golden spire. Pilgrims spin prayer wheels, light butter lamps, and send their prayers into the winds of the Himalayas. Incense fills the air, carrying with it an aura of peace and devotion. This coexistence of faiths is not just harmony, it is Nepal's essence. Yet the valley is not only about temples and heritage, it is also about life in motion. The bustling markets of Asan, with their spices, fabrics, and handmade crafts, remind you that the valley is as much alive today as it was centuries ago. Street food vendors tempt you with momos, Nuwari feasts, and steaming cups of chai. Locals welcome you with smiles that speak louder than words, a warmth that makes you feel less like a visitor and more like a guest. But perhaps the greatest wonder of the Kathmandu Valley is its resilience. Earthquakes have shaken it, wars have scarred it, and time has weathered it. Yet it stands proud, restoring, rebuilding, and rising again and again. The people of this valley embody strength and devotion, carrying forward a legacy that refuses to fade. The Kathmandu Valley is more than a starting point for Himalayan adventures. It is a world in itself. A world where art, architecture, spirituality, and humanity come together in harmony. A world where every temple is a story, every square a stage, and every street an invitation to step deeper into Nepal's soul. And as the evening sun paints the rooftops in golden light, you understand that this valley is not just the cultural heart of Nepal, it is its beating heart, guiding you to the wonders yet to come. What if there were places where the divine didn't just live in stone walls or ancient scriptures, but where you could feel it in the air, hear it in the chants, and see it in the flicker of every butter lamp? In Kathmandu, two sacred sites rise above all others, Pashupatinath and Buddhanath. They are more than monuments. They are living sanctuaries, where devotion flows like a river, and where the human spirit reaches toward the eternal. Pashupatinath, perched on the banks of the sacred Bagmati River, is not just a temple, it is one of the holiest shrines to Lord Shiva in the world. As you walk through its gates, the air changes. Bells echo, incense smoke curls skyward, and the sound of prayers drifts like music carried by the wind. The golden pagoda roof of the main temple gleams in the sunlight, standing as a beacon for pilgrims who have traveled from across the Himalayas. This is not only a place of worship, but also of life and death. On the ghats along the river, cremation ceremonies unfold daily, a reminder of life's impermanence and the cycle of rebirth that lies at the heart of Hindu belief. For a visitor, it may feel overwhelming, but it is also deeply moving, a raw expression of spirituality that binds this culture together. Wandering deeper, you encounter sadhus, the holy men, their bodies smeared in ash, their hair coiled into matted locks, their eyes steady as though they see beyond the material world. Some sit in meditation, others bless pilgrims, and each carries with them an aura of mystery and timeless devotion. They are living symbols of renunciation, reminders that this temple is not simply a structure but a universe where faith is lived every day. And then, only a few kilometers away, the massive white dome of Buddhanath Stupa rises into view. Majestic, serene, and unshakably powerful, it stands as one of the largest Buddhist stupas in the world. Its iconic eyes, painted on all four sides of the golden spire, watch over the valley, symbolizing wisdom and compassion. To step into Buddhanath is to step into another rhythm. Pilgrims walk in clockwise circles, spinning rows of prayer wheels, their chants of Om Mani Padme Hum merging into a chorus of devotion. The sound of low, resonant horns fills the air as monks in crimson robes perform rituals inside nearby monasteries. Prayer flags flutter from every rooftop, their colors sending blessings on the wind to every corner of the earth. What makes Buddhanath so extraordinary is not only its scale or beauty, but its spirit. Over centuries, it has become a sanctuary for Tibetan Buddhism, a place of refuge for those displaced from across the Himalayas. It is alive with tradition, yet welcoming to all. Here, strangers quickly become part of the same circle, drawn into the slow, meditative walk around the stupa. With each step, the noise of the outside world fades, replaced by a stillness that lingers long after you leave. Together, Pashupatinath and Buddhanath are not just two sites, they are twin pillars of Nepal's spiritual identity. One rooted in Hindu devotion, the other in Buddhist meditation, both coexisting in the same valley, both shaping the soul of this land. Few places in the world embody such harmony of faiths, where different paths lead to the same search for truth. As day turns to night, the atmosphere transforms. At Pashupatinath, the Bagmati glows with rows of butter lamps, their reflections dancing on the water during the evening arti ceremony. Drums and chants fill the temple grounds as hundreds gather to witness this ritual of fire and prayer. Meanwhile, at Buddhanath, the stupa glows under soft lanterns as pilgrims continue their endless kora, the circle of devotion under the starry sky. The world seems to pause here, caught between heaven and earth, past and future, silence and sound. To stand at these sacred sites is to witness the living faith of Nepal. Not confined to history books, not frozen in time, but alive, beating, breathing, enduring. And as you leave, the chants, the colors, and the quiet power of devotion follow you, reminding you that Nepal is not only a place of stunning landscapes, but also of spiritual depth unlike anywhere else in the world. Imagine walking into a city where every brick, every window, and every courtyard tells a story older than memory itself, where the streets are not just pathways, but living museums of craftsmanship, artistry, and devotion. This is what you feel when you step into Batan and Bhaktapur, two jewels of the Kathmandu Valley that hold the timeless essence of Nepal's medieval past. They're not frozen relics but breathing cities, where heritage and daily life flow together seamlessly. Patan, also known as Lalitpur, meaning City of Beauty, is exactly that. Its Durbar Square feels like an open-air gallery of art and architecture. Golden spires rise above intricately carved temples, and palaces adorned with delicate woodwork stand as testaments to the genius of newer artisans. At the center is the stunning Krishna Mandir, a stone temple built entirely in the Shikara style. Its elegant towers adorned with carvings of Hindu epics. Unlike anywhere else in the world, you are surrounded here by devotion carved into stone and wood, radiating a spirit that has endured centuries. But what makes Patan unique is not only its monuments, but its people. The city is alive with artisans who continue traditions handed down for generations. In hidden courtyards, you find workshops where craftsmen hammer out bronze statues of deities, each detail brought to life with devotion and precision. Metalwork, Pauba paintings, and sacred sculptures are not just art here, they are acts of faith. To watch an artist at work in Patan is to witness centuries of knowledge flowing through skilled hands, a living continuity of Nepal's cultural heritage. Bhaktapur, on the other hand, feels like a step even further back in time. Known as the City of Devotees, it is quieter, more traditional, and deeply rooted in its medieval soul. As you enter Bhaktapur Durbar Square, the grandeur of the Nyadapola temple greets you, rising 5 stories high. This pagoda is one of the tallest and most majestic temples in Nepal, guarded by massive stone figures that have watched over the city for centuries. The square is a masterpiece of balance: palaces, temples, and statues, arranged with a harmony that makes it one of the most beautiful urban spaces in the world. But Bhaktapur is not just about monumental beauty, it is about the rhythm of daily life. Walk a little further and you'll find the Pottery Square, where artisans shape clay on spinning wheels, their hands moving with a timeless grace. Rows of freshly molded pots dry in the sun, just as they have for hundreds of years. Festivals in Bhaktapur are another spectacle of tradition. Vibrant processions, masked dances, and rituals that transform the streets into a stage where myth and reality merge. Every celebration here is not just performed, but lived, with a passion that sweeps you into its embrace. Both Patan and Bhaktapur share something extraordinary. They are cities where heritage is not locked away in museums, but woven into daily life. Children play in temple courtyards, elders gather in squares for conversation, and prayers rise with the morning sun as naturally as the sound of footsteps on cobblestones. Even as the world outside races forward, these cities remain anchored in a time where beauty, devotion, and community were inseparable. At sunset, Patan's golden temple roofs shimmer in the fading light, while Bhaktapur's brick streets glow with a warmth that feels eternal. In those moments, you understand why these places are not just cities, they are living testaments to the spirit of Nepal. To walk their streets is to walk through history. But more than that, it is to feel history living all around you. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a place where the sky seems to touch the mountains, where lakes reflect snow-capped peaks like giant mirrors, and where every sunrise feels like the first dawn on earth. This is Pokhara, the gateway to the Annapurna Himalayas, and one of the most enchanting destinations in all of Nepal. If Kathmandu is the beating cultural heart of the country, then Pokhara is its soul, a place of serenity, adventure, and breathtaking natural beauty. The first thing that captures you in Pokhara is its setting. Nestled in a valley at the foot of the Annapurna range, the city offers one of the most dramatic backdrops in the world. The towering silhouette of Makapushra, the sacred fishtail mountain, rises like a guardian over the valley. Its sharp peak seems impossibly perfect, reflected in the calm waters of Fewa Lake below. On clear days, the Annapurnas stretch across the horizon, their snow-clad faces glowing golden at sunrise and crimson at sunset. It is a scene so majestic, it hardly feels real. Fewa Lake is the heart of Pokhara. Here, life flows at a gentle rhythm, Wooden boats glide across the water, carrying visitors to the small island temple of Tal Barahi, where devotees offer prayers surrounded by the stillness of the lake. Along its shores, cafes and gardens invite you to linger, sip tea, and simply take in the beauty. At night, the lake becomes a mirror for the stars, and the city's soft lights dance on the surface, creating a dreamy reflection that makes you feel as if you are floating between heaven and earth. But Pokhara is not just about stillness, it is also the adventure capital of Nepal. This is the place where trekkers from around the world begin their journeys into the Annapurna region. Trails leading to Annapurna Base Camp, Poon Hill, and the Mustang region all start here, making Pokhara a crossroads for dreamers and explorers. Yet you don't need to be a mountaineer to feel the thrill of Pokhara. Paragliding over the valley is one of the most unforgettable experiences, soaring with eagles as the mountains stretch endlessly before you. Ziplining, mountain biking, and whitewater rafting all offer their own taste of adrenaline against the backdrop of some of the most beautiful landscapes on Earth. For those who seek peace and reflection, Pokhara has its own sacred spaces. The World Peace Pagoda, perched on a hilltop, offers a panoramic view of the lake and the mountains beyond. It is more than just a viewpoint, it is a place to pause, breathe, and let the immensity of nature humble you. Meanwhile, the caves of Gupteshwar Mahadev hold shrines hidden deep underground, while nearby Devi's Fall crashes into the earth with a force that reminds you of the raw power of nature. Pokhara is also a city of contrasts. By day, it is a serene haven of lakes and mountains. By night, it transforms into a lively hub of culture and music. The lakeside district comes alive with restaurants, shops, and performances, where travelers and locals mingle over food, laughter, and stories of the road. This balance between tranquility and vibrancy makes Pokhara a place that speaks to every kind of traveler. But perhaps what makes Pokhara truly unforgettable is the feeling it leaves within you. Standing at the lakeshore at dawn, watching the first light paint the mountains, you feel an almost spiritual connection to the land. Time slows down, the air feels purer, and you realize that Pokhara is not just a destination, it is an experience, a reminder of how beautiful and vast the world truly island. In Pokhara, adventure and peace coexist. Nature and culture blend seamlessly, and every sunrise feels like a new promise. It is a place where travelers come seeking beauty and leave with something far more profound, a renewed sense of wonder. Imagine stepping into a world where the jungles whisper ancient secrets, where wild elephants roam freely, where crocodiles glide silently through muddy rivers, and where the roar of a Bengal tiger echoes through the dense forest. Welcome to Chitwan National Park, the beating wilderness of Nepal and one of the richest wildlife sanctuaries in Asia. If the Himalayas are Nepal's crown, then Chitwan is its hidden jewel, a place where nature reveals its wildest and most untamed spirit. The very name Chitwan means heart of the jungle, and from the moment you arrive, you understand why. Sprawling across more than 900 square kilometers of grasslands, marshes, and thick sal forests, this UNESCO World Heritage Site is home to some of the rarest animals on the planet. Here, humans are merely guests, and the land belongs to the creatures who have ruled it for centuries. One of the park's greatest treasures is the one-horned rhinoceros. These magnificent creatures, with their prehistoric armor-like skin, wander through the tall elephant grass like living relics of another age. To see one in the wild is to feel a sense of awe watching it graze calmly, every movement deliberate, every breath echoing the survival of a species once nearly lost. Alongside them, herds of spotted deer, wild boars, and langur monkeys fill the forest with life, while marsh mugger crocodiles lie in wait along the riverbanks. But it is the elusive Bengal tiger that captures every visitor's imagination. Chitwan is one of the few places in the world where you might catch a glimpse of this legendary predator in its natural habitat. At dawn, when the mist still hangs over the Raptai River and the jungle is hushed, the possibility of spotting a tiger sends a thrill through every traveler's heart. Even if you don't see one, The mere knowledge that you share the same ground with such a powerful animal makes the experience unforgettable. Exploring Chitwan is an adventure in itself. Jungle safaris take you deep into the wild, whether by jeep, on foot, or by canoe along the tranquil rivers. Each journey is unpredictable. Perhaps you'll see a rhino emerge suddenly from the reeds, or a peacock unfurl its feathers in the golden sunlight. Perhaps you'll hear the alarm calls of monkeys, signaling that a predator is near. In Chitwan, every sound, every rustle of leaves carries meaning, as if the jungle itself is speaking to you. The rivers of Chitwan add another layer of wonder. Gliding silently in a wooden canoe down the Raptai or Narayani River, you pass gharials, rare, long-snouted crocodiles basking on the sandbanks. Above you, kingfishers flash like jewels, while egrets and storks move gracefully through the marshes. At sunset, the water turns gold, and the entire jungle seems to exhale, settling into its nightly rhythm. Chitwan is not just about wildlife, it is also a land of rich human culture. The Tharu people, who have lived here for centuries, carry traditions deeply intertwined with forest. Their villages, with mud-plastered homes and intricately decorated walls, reflect a way of life rooted in harmony with nature. Experiencing their dances, music, and hospitality gives you a glimpse into a world where culture and wilderness coexist seamlessly. What makes Chitwan so extraordinary is its duality. It is both wild and peaceful, both thrilling and calming. You may find yourself holding your breath as a rhino passes just meters away, and later, sitting quietly under the stars, listening to the distant calls of jackals and owls. This is the rhythm of the jungle, unpredictable yet deeply grounding. As dawn breaks in Chitwan, the mist lifts slowly, revealing the forest bathed in golden light. It feels as though you are witnessing nature at its purest, untouched and eternal. In a world that often feels rushed and chaotic, Chitwan reminds us that there are still places where life moves to the ancient rhythm of the wild. Here, every encounter is a story, every sound a mystery, and every sunrise a promise. Chitwan National Park is not just a destination, it is an awakening. It teaches us that the wild is not something separate from us, but something we are deeply connected to, something that has shaped us since the beginning of time. There are places in the world where history whispers, and then there are places where history speaks with divine clarity. Lumbini, in the southern plains of Nepal, is one such sacred land. This is not just a destination, it is the birthplace of Siddhartha Gautama, who would one day become the Buddha, the enlightened one. To walk here is to step into the cradle of one of the greatest spiritual journeys in human history, a place where peace, reflection, and faith intertwine seamlessly with the earth itself. As you arrive, the atmosphere is unlike anywhere else in Nepal. Gone are the towering peaks of the Himalayas and the dense jungles of Chitwan. Instead, Lumbini greets you with a serene landscape, flat plains, gentle breezes, and an aura of silence that seems to embrace you. This is a land of simplicity, and yet, its importance to humanity is immeasurable. At the very heart of Lumbini lies the Maya Devi Temple, a modest yet profoundly sacred site. Here, beneath a Bodhi tree, Queen Maya Devi is said to have given birth to Siddhartha around the 6th century BCE. Within the temple, an ancient sandstone relief depicts the moment of his birth, a scene that has inspired countless generations. Outside, pilgrims from around the world kneel in prayer, their chants weaving into the air, merging with the songs of birds that perch in the sacred groves. The temple complex is surrounded by monasteries, built by nations from across the globe. Each monastery carries the architectural spirit of its homeland. Thai temples with golden spires, Tibetan monasteries with vibrant prayer flags, Japanese pagodas with quiet gardens. Together, they form an extraordinary mosaic of faith and culture, a reminder that Buddhism has transcended borders and languages, uniting millions through its message of compassion and mindfulness. Walking through the Lumbini monastic zone feels like traveling across the world within a single sacred valley. Monks in saffron robes meditate under the shade of trees, while pilgrims light butter lamps, their soft glow symbolizing hope and enlightenment. There is no rush here, no noise of modern life, only the stillness of a place that has remained a sanctuary for centuries. One of the most powerful experiences in Lumbini is the eternal flame. Burning continuously since 1986, it symbolizes peace and harmony among all people. Sitting by this flame, with a hum of distant chants in the air, you cannot help but feel connected to something greater than yourself, a reminder of humanity's eternal search for meaning and balance. Beyond the spiritual, Lumbini also tells the story of ancient history. Archaeological remains here include monastic ruins, stone pillars, and stupas that date back more than 2,000 years. Emperor Ashoka of India, one of the greatest patrons of Buddhism, erected a stone pillar here in the 3rd century BCE to honor the birthplace of the Buddha. This Ashoka pillar still stands today, inscribed with words that echo across millennia, testifying to the enduring significance of this sacred site. But perhaps the greatest gift of Lumbini is not found in monuments or temples, it is found in the atmosphere itself. The silence here feels alive. It encourages reflection, inviting you to slow down, to listen, to breathe deeply. In a world of constant noise and endless distractions, Lumbini offers something rare: the chance to connect with inner peace, to walk the same soil where a prince was born who would change the course of human thought forever. At sunset, as the skies of Lumbini turn gold and the silhouettes of monasteries stand against the horizon, you realize that this is more than a journey of travel. It is a journey inward. For many, Lumbini is not simply a destination to visit, but a place of transformation, a reminder that the seeds of peace are planted within each of us. Here, in this quiet corner of Nepal, the story of the Buddha began, and as you leave, you carry a part of that story with you. A gentle reminder that even in the most ordinary places, extraordinary journeys can begin. If Kathmandu is the beating heart of Nepal and Lumbini its spiritual soul, then Pokhara is the country's dreamscape, a place where nature paints on the grandest canvas imaginable. Known as the gateway to the Annapurna Himalayas, Pokhara is one of those rare destinations that captivates every kind of traveler, adventurers, seekers of serenity, and dreamers alike. It's here that the mountains descend to meet tranquil lakes, and where each sunrise feels like a gift from the heavens. Imagine this. The first light of dawn breaks over the snow-clad peaks of Annapurna and Machapuchar, the Fishtail Mountain, casting golden hues onto the still waters of Fewa Lake below. The reflection is so perfect, so still, that you can hardly tell where the mountains end and the water begins. It's a moment of silence that leaves you awestruck, a reminder of why Pokhara is often called the Jewel of Nepal. The city itself is calm and inviting, far less hectic than the bustling streets of Kathmandu. Along the lakeside, cafes and restaurants line the shore, their terraces opening to views of the shimmering water. Travelers sip coffee as they watch wooden boats drift lazily across the lake, while paragliders soar high above, catching thermals against the backdrop of the Himalayas. Fewa Lake is more than just a picturesque setting, it is the soul of Pokhara. A boat ride across its surface takes you to the Talbarahi Temple, a small but significant shrine that sits on an island in the middle of the lake. Locals and visitors alike come here to offer prayers, their devotion blending seamlessly with the serene natural surroundings. As you float gently on the water, with mountains on one side and the city on the other, you feel as though Pokhara is holding you in a gentle embrace. For those seeking adventure, Pokhara is a playground like no other. It's one of the world's most famous paragliding destinations, offering the rare chance to glide through the skies with the Annapurna range in front of you and the valley sprawling beneath your feet. Trekkers, too, know Pokhara as the starting point for legendary trails, whether it's the Annapurna Circuit, the trek to Annapurna Base Camp, or the hike to the sacred Mardi Himal. Each path promises encounters with breathtaking landscapes, welcoming villages, and experiences that test and transform the human spirit. Not far from the city lies Davis Falls, a spectacular waterfall that plunges into an underground tunnel with incredible force. Local legend says it was named after a foreign traveler who tragically disappeared here, giving the site both beauty and poignancy. Nearby, the Gupteshwar Cave stretches into the earth, where sacred shrines and mysterious rock formations create an otherworldly atmosphere. One of Pokhara's most profound experiences comes from the Peace Pagoda, a gleaming white stupa perched on a hill overlooking the lake and the mountains beyond. Built as a symbol of world peace, it offers one of the most breathtaking panoramic views in Nepal. Standing here, watching clouds drift over the peaks, you cannot help but feel a deep sense of calm and perspective, an understanding of how small we are in the shadow of such magnificence, yet how connected we are to the world around us. As night falls, Pokhara transforms once again. The lakeside glows with warm lights from restaurants and shops. Music drifts into the cool air, and travelers gather to share stories of treks completed and adventures yet to come. The reflection of the city's lights dances on the surface of Fiwa Lake, as if echoing the stars above. Pokhara is not just a city, it's an experience of balance. It's where adrenaline meets tranquility, where adventure blends with spirituality, and where every sunrise and sunset paints a memory that lingers long after you leave. It reminds you that travel is not only about the places you visit, but also about the emotions they awaken within you. To come to Pokhara is to stand at the gateway of the Himalayas, but also to stand at the threshold of your own dreams. It is a place that shows you the immensity of nature, the richness of culture, and the endless possibilities of adventure. And in that perfect reflection of mountain and lake, you find a reflection of yourself. There are journeys that change your perspective, and then there are journeys that change your very soul. The Annapurna region of Nepal belongs to the latter. This is not just trekking, it is a pilgrimage through landscapes that feel like they belong to another world, a place where every step draws you deeper into the rhythm of the Himalayas and closer to the essence of life itself. The Annapurna region is often described as one of the greatest trekking destinations on Earth, and with good reason. Stretching across central Nepal, this area offers an extraordinary range of environments, from lush subtropical valleys and terraced fields to alpine meadows and high-altitude deserts. Here, the scenery shifts dramatically, almost like chapters in a grand epic, with each turn in the trail revealing something more awe-inspiring than the last. Perhaps the most legendary of these treks is the Annapurna circuit. Once considered the classic Himalayan trail, it takes travelers on a loop around the Annapurna Massif, traversing more than 200 kilometers through diverse terrain and cultures. The journey leads through villages inhabited by Gurung, Thakali, and Manangi communities, where traditions have endured for centuries. Each settlement offers not only a place to rest, but also a glimpse into lives that are shaped by the mountains and the seasons. And then comes the climax, the Thorong La Pass. At 416 meters, it is one of the highest trekking passes in the world. Crossing it is no small feat, but the reward is incomparable. Standing atop the pass, prayer flags fluttering in the wind, you are surrounded by an ocean of peaks stretching endlessly in every direction. The air is thin, your breath is heavy, but your spirit feels as if it could soar. It is one of those rare moments when exhaustion and exhilaration merge into something transcendent. For those who seek something shorter yet equally magical, the Annapurna Base Camp Trek is a path into the heart of the Himalayas. Winding through bamboo forests, rhododendron groves, and cascading waterfalls, the trail eventually leads to the natural amphitheater of Annapurna Sanctuary. Here, surrounded by towering peaks like Annapurna I, Macha Puchar, and Hyun Chuli, you feel as though you've stepped into the very cradle of the gods. The mountains loom so close, their icy faces etched against the sky, that it feels like you could reach out and touch eternity itself. There are also hidden gems like the Mardi Himal Trek, less crowded, more intimate, yet equally breathtaking. This trail takes you along narrow ridges, where clouds drift like curtains, occasionally parting to reveal dazzling glimpses of the Annapurnas and Macha Puchar. It's a quieter journey, one that allows you to connect with both nature and yourself. But the Annapurna region is not only about landscapes, it is about the people who call this rugged terrain their home. The warmth of the villagers, their hospitality, and their resilience in the face of harsh environments leave as strong an impression as the mountains themselves. Sharing a cup of tea in a tea house, hearing stories of life in the highlands, or watching children laugh as they play against the backdrop of Himalayan giants, you realize that the heart of Annapurna lies not just in its peaks but in its people. As day turns to night, the region offers yet another wonder: the Himalayan night sky. Far from city lights, the heavens come alive with a brilliance rarely seen elsewhere. The Milky Way stretches across the horizon, and stars seem to multiply endlessly. Sitting outside a mountain lodge, wrapped in a blanket of silence and starlight, you feel the vastness of the universe pressing gently upon you. The Annapurna region is not just a trek, not just a destination. It is a teacher. It teaches patience with its long, winding trails. It teaches humility in the face of towering mountains. It teaches gratitude when a hot meal and warm fire feel like luxuries. And it teaches perspective, showing how small our lives are in the vastness of the Himalayas, and yet how meaningful every step can be. For those who dare to journey here, Annapurna leaves an imprint that lasts a lifetime. The memory of snowy peaks glowing under the morning sun, of villages nestled in valleys, of rivers roaring down from glaciers, these images never fade. They linger in your mind, calling you back, reminding you that you've walked not just across a landscape, but through a living legend. The Annapurna region is more than a trek. It is a conversation with the mountains, a dialogue with the soul, and a reminder of the boundless beauty this world holds for those willing to explore. There are places in the world that feel as though they exist outside of time, where the landscape, culture, and traditions are so distinct that stepping into them feels like entering another universe. Mustang, often called the Forbidden Kingdom, is one such place. Hidden in the rain shadow of the Himalayas, Mustang is a stark and otherworldly land that carries echoes of ancient Tibet, preserved through centuries of isolation. For much of its history, Mustang was closed to outsiders, its mysteries guarded by towering mountains and its own determination to remain untouched. Even today, with limited permits required to visit, the region retains an aura of secrecy and exclusivity. That sense of the forbidden only adds to its allure. Travelers who venture here don't just discover a destination, they uncover a realm of living heritage and raw, unfiltered beauty. The landscape of Mustang is unlike any other in Nepal. Gone are the lush green valleys and terraced fields found elsewhere in the country. Instead, you find dramatic cliffs, deep gorges, and wind-carved canyons that stretch like scars across the land. The earth glows in shades of red, ochre, and brown, creating a palace that feels almost Martian in its starkness. Snow-capped peaks still rise in the distance, but here, the high-altitude desert dominates, commanding a different kind of reverence. At the heart of Upper Mustang lies Lo Manthang, the walled city that once served as the capital of the Kingdom of Lo. Within its ancient walls, whitewashed houses and monasteries preserve the traditions of Tibetan Buddhism, passed down through generations. Walking through its narrow lanes feels like stepping into history. Monks chant in prayer halls, butter lamps flicker in the dim light, and centuries-old murals tell stories of deities and guardians. It is as if the past has been carefully safeguarded, waiting for those who come to listen. The monasteries of Mustang are treasures in themselves. Places like Thupchen Gompa and Jampa Lakang hold not only religious importance, but also artistic and cultural significance. Their walls are adorned with vibrant paintings. Their courtyards echo with rituals that have endured through time. In these sacred spaces, one begins to understand why Mustang is often described as a bridge between earth and spirit. Yet Mustang is not only about its towns and monasteries, it is also about the journey. Trekking through this land reveals a rugged beauty that is at once harsh and mesmerizing. The winds sweep across barren plateaus, carrying with them a silence broken only by the sound of footsteps and the occasional call of a bird. Every ridge climbed, every valley crossed, rewards you with vistas that seem almost supernatural in their grandeur. The caves of Mustang add yet another layer of mystery. Hundreds of man-made caves dot the cliffs, some used as ancient dwellings, others as meditation chambers or burial sites. Archaeologists are still uncovering the secrets they hold, evidence of civilizations long gone, their stories etched into the very bones of the mountains. Despite its remoteness, Mustang is alive with culture and tradition. Festivals here are vibrant celebrations of faith and community. The TG Festival, for instance, is a dazzling display of masked dances and rituals that symbolize the triumph of good over evil. Watching it unfold in the shadow of the Himalayas, with villagers gathered in their finest attire, is an experience that stays etched in the memory forever. What makes Mustang so extraordinary is its resilience. Here, people live in harmony with a landscape that offers little softness. They farm in arid soil, tend to herds in harsh climates, and sustain their culture against the currents of modernization. Their spirit, much like the land itself, is unyielding. As the sun sets over Mustang, the cliffs glow in fiery hues, and the wind carries with it an ancient song, a reminder that this is not just a place, but a living testament to endurance and tradition. The sky turns deep blue, stars begin to pierce the darkness, and silence returns to the valleys, vast and profound. To journey into Mustang is to witness a rare and fragile world, one that connects you to the deep roots of humanity's past while reminding you of the beauty of resilience. It is a land that challenges and inspires, that strips life down to its essentials and, in doing so, reveals its profound truths. Mustang remains a kingdom of wonder, not just for its landscapes, but for the timeless spirit that endures within it. For those who make the journey, it is a reminder that even in the most remote corners of the earth, beauty, tradition, and meaning thrive waiting to be discovered. Some places don't just take your breath away, they leave you with a silence so profound that words seem inadequate. Rara Lake, often called the Queen of Lakes, is one such place. Tucked away in the remote northwest of Nepal, far from the bustling streets of Kathmandu and the well-trodden trekking trails of the Annapurna or Everest regions, Rara is a jewel of serenity. It is not just Nepal's largest lake, it is its most enchanting. Imagine a vast body of crystal-clear water, stretching across nearly 11 square kilometers, embraced by lush forests and snow-capped peaks. The surface reflects the sky with such clarity that the line between earth and heaven disappears. When the wind brushes gently across the lake, ripples shimmer like liquid glass, and the surrounding hills stand guard in solemn silence. Rara is not just a lake, it is a sanctuary of peace. Getting here is no easy feat, and perhaps that is what makes Rara so special. The journey involves days of travel through rugged terrain and remote villages, where life remains untouched by modern chaos. But every step along, the path prepares you for the reward that awaits the moment when you first see Rara's turquoise waters, glowing under the sun like a hidden treasure. For many travelers, this first glimpse is unforgettable, a sight that brings with it a sense of awe and quiet reverence. The biodiversity around Rara Lake is as remarkable as its beauty. Nestled within Rara National Park, the lake is surrounded by forests of pine, spruce, and juniper, home to red pandas, Himalayan black bears, and countless bird species. In spring and summer, the meadows explode with wildflowers, carpeting the landscape with colors as vivid as a painter's palette. And when autumn arrives, the forests burn bright with gold and crimson, adding yet another layer of wonder to the scene. For the people who live in this region, Rara is more than just a natural wonder. It is a sacred presence woven into their traditions and stories. Local communities believe the lake is a gift from the gods, a place that holds spiritual significance beyond its physical beauty. Standing by its shores, it's easy to understand why. There's a sense of stillness here, a feeling that you are part of something much greater, something eternal. Exploring Rara offers countless moments of wonder. A walk along its shores reveals ever-changing reflections of clouds and mountains, each step giving you a new perspective. At sunrise, the water glows with soft hues of pink and orange, while at sunset it transforms into a canvas of fiery reds and purples. By night, when the world grows quiet, the lake mirrors the starlit sky, creating an illusion that you are standing between two universes. For adventurers, the region offers more than tranquility. Treks around Rara take you through remote villages where life unfolds at its own rhythm, farmers tending to their fields, children running through the meadows, and families gathering by warm hearths. Each encounter is a reminder of the resilience and warmth of the people who call this rugged land home. Sharing a meal with them, listening to their stories, you feel the deep connection between humanity and nature that defines life in these mountains. But perhaps the true magic of Rara lies in its ability to strip life down to its essentials. There are no distractions here, no noise of cities, no rush of modernity, just water, forest, mountains, and sky. In that simplicity, you rediscover yourself. You find space to breathe, to reflect, to feel a profound peace that so often eludes us in the chaos of daily life. As the day comes to a close, and the last light of the sun dips behind the hills, Rara Lake falls into a deep, reflective stillness. The surface turns into liquid silver under the moonlight, and the world feels hushed, as if pausing to listen to the heartbeat of nature itself. Rara is not a place you simply visit. It is a place you experience with every sense, a place that becomes part of you. It is the kind of wonder that stays with you long after you've left, resurfacing in quiet moments when you close your eyes and remember the stillness, the reflection, the endless sky. In a land of towering peaks and ancient cities, Rara Lake stands apart, not because it is grander, but because it whispers instead of roars. It reminds you that beauty does not always need to overwhelm. Sometimes it simply needs to be. When we think of Nepal, the first images that come to mind are usually snow-capped mountains, turquoise lakes, and ancient temples. But the true heart of Nepal beats not just in its landscapes, it beats in its people, in their traditions, and in the spirit that weaves through every festival, every smile, and every story passed down through generations. To truly know Nepal, you must look beyond the scenery and immerse yourself in the rhythm of its culture. Nepal is a country of incredible diversity, not only in geography, but also in the mosaic of communities that call it home. Dozens of ethnic groups live here, each with their own language, traditions, and customs. Yet, what is most remarkable is the harmony with which these differences coexist. From the bustling streets of Kathmandu to the quiet villages nestled in remote valleys, the Nepali spirit radiates warmth, resilience, and an unshakable sense of hospitality. Walk through any neighborhood, and you will be greeted with a simple but heartfelt namaste. This gesture is more than a greeting, it is an acknowledgement of the soul within you. Nepali people live with a deep awareness of connection, not only with each other, but with the natural and spiritual worlds that surround them. It is this profound sense of respect and balance that makes their way of life so inspiring. Festivals in Nepal are more than celebrations. They are living stories that connect past, present, and future. Take Dashain, the country's largest festival, where families reunite, elders bless the young, and communities celebrate the triumph of good over evil. During Tihar, often called the Festival of Lights, homes glow with oil lamps, flowers decorate doorways, and animals, dogs, cows, and crows are honored for the roles they play in daily life. Then comes Holi, the festival of colors, when laughter fills the air and people, young and old, toss vibrant powders that turn the streets into a moving rainbow of joy. Each festival is not just an event, it is a reflection of Nepal's values: gratitude, unity, and reverence for life in all its forms. Even in remote villages, far from the cities, festivals transform ordinary days into moments of pure magic, binding communities together in a rhythm of music, dance, and shared meals. But perhaps the most unforgettable part of Nepal is its people. Whether you are trekking in the high Himalayas or exploring the flat plains of the Terai, you will find yourself welcomed with warmth that feels almost like family. In tiny tea houses perched along mountain trails, strangers will offer you a steaming cup of chai, their smile as comforting as the drink itself. In villages, families invite travelers to share simple meals of dal bhat, not because they have much, but because generosity is at the core of who they are. And then, there is the resilience of the Nepali spirit. This is a country that has endured natural disasters, economic challenges, and hardships of geography. Yet its people continue to rise with strength and optimism. Their laughter is unshaken, their traditions unbroken, their kindness unbounded. To walk among them is to be reminded of the extraordinary power of the human spirit when it is anchored in community and faith. Music and dance play a vital role in this cultural heartbeat. In the Kathmandu Valley, you may hear the sounds of traditional instruments echoing during celebrations, while in the hills, folk songs tell stories of love, struggle, and devotion to the land. Each region has its own melodies, its own movements, but all share the same purpose: to express what cannot be captured in words alone. And yet, what is most moving about Nepal's cultural richness is its ability to embrace both tradition and modernity. Young Nepalis in cities pursue education, technology, and new opportunities, while still honoring the rituals and wisdom of their ancestors. In this blend, Nepal stands as a nation deeply rooted yet forward-looking, carrying its heritage into the future with pride. For travelers, experiencing this side of Nepal is as breathtaking as its mountains. Witnessing a village festival, sitting with monks in a quiet monastery, or sharing a meal with a farming family in the countryside, these moments linger in the heart long after the journey ends. They remind us that the true wonder of Nepal is not only in its physical beauty but in its people, whose way of life teaches us about resilience, kindness, and the joy of living in harmony with nature. As you leave the bustling streets or the tranquil villages, you realize that the festivals, the greetings, the shared laughter, they stay with you. Nepal's spirit is not something you simply observe. It is something you carry with you, a gift that continues to shine long after the journey is over. In the end, Nepal is more than a place to see. It is a place to feel. Its mountains may inspire awe, its lakes may inspire peace, but it is the Nepali spirit that inspires the soul. That is the wonder that no camera can capture, no words can fully describe, but every heart can understand. There are places in the world that dazzle you with their beauty, and there are places that transform you with their spirit. Nepal is one of those rare places that does both. After journeying through its towering peaks, serene valleys, sacred temples, and vibrant communities, one truth becomes undeniable. Nepal is not just a destination, it is an experience that lingers in the heart, long after your footsteps have left its soil. What makes Nepal so extraordinary is not a single wonder, but the harmony of many. It is the way snow-capped mountains rise like guardians of the sky, while fertile plains stretch out in quiet balance. It is the contrast between the silence of a monastery perched high in the Himalayas and the lively energy of Kathmandu's bustling streets. It is the rhythm of drums during a festival, echoing in harmony with the timeless chants of monks. This land is a symphony of opposites, ancient yet modern, wild yet welcoming, sacred yet alive with everyday joy. For centuries, Nepal has drawn dreamers, adventurers, pilgrims, and wanderers from every corner of the globe. Climbers come to challenge themselves on Everest, the highest peak in the world. Spiritual seekers arrive to walk in the footsteps of the Buddha, who was born in the small town of Lumbini. Nature lovers travel to witness the rare wildlife of Chitwan and the endless wetlands of Bhaktapur. And yet, beyond every breathtaking view and every sacred site, they discover something unexpected, the quiet transformation of their own spirit. That is Nepal's eternal wonder. It does not only show you beauty, it awakens something inside you. Standing at the foot of the Himalayas, you realize how small you are, yet how connected you are to something infinite. Sitting with a family in a rural village, you understand that joy does not come from abundance, but from gratitude. Walking through centuries-old temples, You feel the weight of history, but also the lightness of faith that continues to guide generations. This land teaches without speaking. It whispers lessons in the sound of prayer flags fluttering in the wind. It paints wisdom in the colors of sunrise over snow-clad peaks. It reminds us that time is fleeting, but meaning is eternal. Nepal is not just a place you travel through, it is a place that travels through you, changing the way you see the world and the way you see yourself. And yet, the wonder of Nepal is also in its people. Their warmth, their resilience, their ability to smile through challenges, this is what travelers carry with them long after the journey ends. Nepal may be a small nation, but its spirit is vast, larger than mountains, deeper than valleys, and stronger than time itself. As we conclude this journey, one question remains. Why does Nepal capture the world's heart? Perhaps it is because here you feel closer to the earth and closer to the divine. Perhaps it is because Nepal reminds us of the simple truths we often forget, that beauty lies in balance, that strength lies in humility, and that joy lies in connection. Or perhaps it is because in Nepal, you don't just see wonders, you become part of them. To witness Nepal is to feel wonder, to walk its trails, to breathe its air, to share its laughter is to be transformed. It is a journey that does not end when you leave. It is a journey that continues every time you remember the mountains, the temples, the festivals, and the faces that welcomed you with open arms. So, when you think of Nepal, don't just think of its peaks or palaces. Think of its spirit. Because in the end, Nepal's greatest wonder is not what you see, it is what you feel. It is the eternal wonder that captures your heart and never lets it go. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels, and see you in the next video.